Imagine being suddenly left in charge of two kids you barely know while their mom walks away thinking you're useless. Yeah, that actually happened to me. Here's how it all began. It was a sunny afternoon when I got the call. My daughter-in-law, Emma, always so dismissive of me, dropped the bomb. She had to leave town for work and was leaving her two kids with me for the weekend. I blinked, slightly shocked. Two kids? For the whole weekend? Me? You can handle it, right? She asked, smirking as if she doubted me. I took a deep breath and said, "Of course, I'll take care of them." Inside, I was a little nervous, but also determined to prove her wrong. When the kids arrived, Liam, 7, and Sophie, 5, they looked confused and a little scared. I knelt down, smiling, and said, "Hey there, I'm Grandma Martha. Let's make this weekend fun." Their eyes slowly brightened, and I felt a spark of hope. At first, Liam was skeptical, crossing his arms. "I don't want to play with you," he said. Sophie hid behind him. I didn't get upset. Instead, I sat on the floor and whispered, "You know, when your dad was your age, he said the same thing. But then we built the most epic blanket fort." I could see curiosity flicker in Liam's eyes. Sophie peeked from behind him. Slowly, they started talking, just a little. It wasn't much, but it was the start. I decided to make our first activity something simple but fun. We baked cookies together. Liam helped pour flour, Sophie decorated them. They giggled, flour flew everywhere, and I couldn't help but laugh too. By the end of the afternoon, they hugged me and said, "Grandma, this is fun." For the first time, I felt like I was not useless at all. I had earned a small victory without even trying to prove anything to Emma. Last time I told you all about the first meeting with Liam and Sophie and how we baked cookies together. But the weekend was just starting and these little rascals had plans to test me, and Emma's doubts weren't far behind. The next morning, I woke up to find the kids running around the living room like a hurricane. Toys everywhere, breakfast half eaten, and Liam shouting, "Now, Grandma, watch this," as he tried to do a cartwheel on the sofa. I took a deep breath, remembering my promise to stay calm. "Okay, my little acrobats, let's channel that energy. How about we build an indoor obstacle course?" Their eyes lit up. Sophie jumped in. "Yeah, Grandma, let's do it." Within minutes, the living room was transformed into a fun course. They ran, jumped, and giggled. It was chaotic, yes, but it was also a chance to bond and show them that I could handle anything. I realized early on that trying to control them would only make things worse. So I embraced their energy instead. I set small challenges, gave them choices, and praised them for teamwork. Even when Liam threw a pillow across the room, I didn't scold him. Instead, I laughed and said, "Whoa, watch the flying pillow. Who's next?" By turning their mischief into games and opportunities for learning, I gained their trust and respect without Emma being around to judge me. By the end of the morning, they were sitting quietly, eating sandwiches I made, talking about school and their friends. Liam said, "Grandma, you're actually fun." Sophie nodded, adding shyly, "Yeah, you're not useless at all." My heart swelled with pride. This small victory showed me that Emma's assumptions were wrong, and I was slowly proving my worth to the kids without even trying to confront her. Last time I turned the kids' chaotic energy into fun and earned their trust. But y'all, Emma wasn't done testing me. Part 3 shows how she called unexpectedly, trying to see if I could handle everything, and how I proved her assumptions wrong again. Mid-morning, my phone rang. It was Emma. I could hear the sharp edge in her voice immediately. "Martha, I just wanted to check in. Are the kids behaving? I don't want them causing trouble." I smiled calmly. "Hey, Emma. They're actually amazing. We just made an obstacle course in the living room. Liam and Sophie are having a blast." She hesitated. "Really? That sounds chaotic." I laughed softly. "Well, it's a little wild, but they're learning teamwork and having fun. Don't worry, I've got it under control." I could tell she wasn't used to me sounding confident. This was the first real test she didn't anticipate. After the call, I turned back to the kids. Liam was trying to balance on a chair. Sophie was giggling uncontrollably. Instead of scolding, I said, "Careful, little acrobat. Let's turn that into a fun challenge. Who can hop from chair to chair safely?" The kids listened, amazed that Grandma was fun but also in control. Every small instruction I gave was reinforced with praise and encouragement. By mid-morning, the kids were engaged, happy, and respectful. I realized then, it wasn't about proving anything to Emma directly. It was about showing the kids they could trust me and that trust would speak louder than her doubts. Later I got a text from Emma. "Wow, didn't think they'd listen to you, good job." I smiled, feeling a quiet victory. She thought I was useless, but I had handled a full day of chaos, kept the kids happy and maintained a positive atmosphere. I knew this weekend was going to be long, but this first victory showed me that patience, calmness, and love were stronger than assumptions and doubts. Last time, Emma called unexpectedly to test me, and I handled it with calm confidence. But y'all, the real challenge came when the kids decided to test me like never before. Here's how I turned chaos into trust and fun. The next morning, Liam and Sophie woke up with boundless energy. They were running through the house, arguing over toys, and Sophie decided it was a perfect time to climb on the couch pretending to be a superhero. I could feel the tension building, but I reminded myself, "Stay calm, Martha. Patience wins." I knelt down and said, "Okay, superheroes, let's channel that energy." "I have an idea. Let's create a superhero obstacle course." Their eyes lit up. Liam shouted, "Yes, Grandma, you're the best!" Sophie ran to grab pillows and blankets. Suddenly, the chaos turned into organized fun, and I felt a surge of confidence. I realized the key wasn't stopping them, it was guiding them. I set up challenges, pillow jumps, blanket tunnels, and mini races. I praised teamwork, reminded them to be careful, and made it competitive in a fun way. Even when Liam tried to sneak past a challenge, I laughed and said, "Nice try, but superheroes follow the rules." The kids laughed, respecting the rules while still having fun. By turning their energy into structured play, I maintained control without being strict, and the kids were learning and having fun simultaneously. By lunchtime, the kids were sweaty but happy, sharing stories of their favourite parts of the morning. Liam hugged me and said, "Grandma, I didn't think you could keep up with us, but you totally did." Sophie added shyly, "Yeah, you're not useless at all." My heart swelled with pride. Emma had assumed I couldn't handle them, but in just a few days I had earned their trust and respect, all without raising my voice or showing frustration. Last time I turned the kids' chaos into fun and earned their trust. But y'all, Emma wasn't done. It shows her surprise challenge, testing me in ways I didn't expect, and how calm strategy helped me handle it all. Out of the blue, Emma called me again. "Martha, I left a list of chores and instructions. Make sure the kids follow it. I don't want them getting behind," she said with that familiar smirk. I glanced at the long list: laundry, homework, snacks, and organising their rooms. My first thought, wow, she really thinks I can't handle this, but instead of panicking, I smiled. "Got it, Emma. We'll get it done, and the kids will have fun too." After hanging up, I turned to Liam and Sophie. Who wants to help me become the best chore superheroes ever? Their eyes lit up, intrigued by the idea of turning boring chores into a game. We set timers, made points for folding clothes, and had speed snack challenges. Even tidying their rooms became a race. I praised teamwork and creativity at every step. The kids were laughing, engaged, and surprisingly disciplined. Liam shouted, "Oh, Grandma, you're the best! Chores have never been this fun." Sophie added, "Yeah, you actually know how to make everything fun." I felt proud. Emma had set up this challenge to prove I was useless, but instead, I had turned it into an opportunity to bond, teach, and earn their respect even more. Later, Emma texted, "Wow, didn't think they'd cooperate. Good job." I smiled quietly. She had assumed I couldn't manage them, but not only had I handled the kids, I had made chores enjoyable and strengthened our bond. I realized then, patience, creativity, and calm confidence were far stronger than doubts and assumptions. And y'all, the kids now saw me as someone reliable, loving, and fun, a grandma who truly cared. Last time I turned Emma's chore challenge into fun and bonding. But y'all. Part 6 is when the kids' biggest emotional test arrived. A moment designed to see if they trusted me. And how I handled it would shock Emma even more. Mid-afternoon, Liam and Sophie were unusually quiet. I noticed Sophie clutching a small stuffed toy, eyes a little watery. Liam avoided eye contact and was unusually subdued. I sat down next to them. "Hey, what's going on, you two?" Sophie sniffled. We miss Mommy." Liam nodded silently. My heart ached. I knew this was the real test. Could I comfort them, earn their trust, and show them love even when Emma wasn't around? I gently wrapped my arms around both. "I know you miss her. It's okay to feel that way. But I'm here, and we'll get through this together. I promise you won't be alone." I let them talk about their feelings. I shared small stories about when David was their age, the times he missed me or his dad. We laughed a little, we cried a little, and slowly, they opened up more. Instead of dismissing their feelings, I acknowledged them. I said, "It's normal to miss Mommy, and it's okay to have fun while you're with me. We can have a happy weekend together." By giving them space, love, and understanding, I saw their walls start to crumble. Liam hugged me tightly, whispering, "Grandma, thanks for understanding." Sophie nodded, finally smiling again. Later that evening, Emma called. "Martha, I didn't realize you'd handle that so well," she admitted. I smiled quietly, feeling a quiet sense of victory. She thought I was useless, but in handling the kids' emotional needs, keeping them happy and showing patience, I had completely proved her wrong. I realized then that love, calmness, and understanding were far more powerful than anyone's doubts. Last time I handled the kids' emotional test, comforting them when they missed Mommy. But y'all, 7 is when I earned their full trust and confidence, completely proving Emma wrong. The next morning, I woke early to prepare breakfast. Liam and Sophie were up shortly after, already running around. This time, they weren't chaotic. They were excited to help. "Grandma, can we make pancakes today?" Liam asked. "Absolutely. Chef's in the making," I said, smiling. I let them pour ingredients, whisk batter, and even choose toppings. By letting them take part in the routine, they felt responsible and engaged. I noticed their confidence growing and my own pride swelling. After breakfast, we did a mix of fun and learning activities. We read stories, built puzzles, and even created a little science experiment with vinegar and baking soda. The kids were attentive, curious, and fully engaged. At one point, Liam said, "Grandma, you're way better than I thought." Sophie nodded, adding, "Yeah, you know how to make everything fun." It hit me. Emma had assumed I was useless, but the kids themselves were now confirming the opposite. My calmness, patience, and creativity had truly earned their trust. Later, Emma called again. She sounded surprised. "Martha, I didn't realize how much they'd respond to you. They seem so happy." I smiled quietly. "Thanks, Emma. They're wonderful kids, and I just tried to meet them where they are." I hung up, feeling a deep sense of accomplishment. It wasn't about proving her wrong with words. It was about earning the kids' respect, confidence, and love. That was victory enough. Last time, I earned the kids' full trust and confidence, completely proving Emma wrong. But y'all? Ultimate weekend test, the final challenge that would show if I had truly won their hearts and shattered Emma's assumptions. Saturday morning, I woke up to find Liam and Sophie unusually quiet. Then, Liam whispered, "Grandma, we want to plan a surprise for Mommy." My heart skipped a beat. "A surprise? For Mommy?" I smiled and said, "Okay, let's make this the best surprise ever." I helped them brainstorm ideas. a handmade card, a small snack tray, and a cute little drawing. They were excited, taking ownership of everything. This was the ultimate test. Could I guide them through a project independently while keeping it fun and organized? I was determined to show them I could. Instead of doing everything for them, I let Liam and Sophie lead. I gave gentle suggestions. Maybe we can add some colours here, or don't forget to sign your names. They laughed, debated, and even made small mistakes, but I didn't interfere harshly. I encouraged creativity, applauded effort, and celebrated little successes along the way. By the end, the kids had created a beautiful surprise for Emma. They beamed with pride, and I quietly felt a huge sense of accomplishment. The ultimate weekend test had been passed, without me taking over. When Emma returned, the kids ran to her, showing her their surprise. "Mommy, Grandma helped us make this." Emma looked stunned. "Martha, wow. I didn't think you could handle all this and make it so meaningful." I smiled warmly, watching the kids hug both of us. Their joy, pride, and trust were the proof. I had shattered her assumptions completely. I realized then that being calm, patient, and supportive, not trying to control, was the key to winning hearts and respect. Last time the kids created a surprise for Emma, and she was completely shocked. But Y'all shows the final emotional realization. How Emma fully acknowledged my role, how the kids' trust was cemented, and how the weekend ended in heartfelt triumph. After the kids presented their surprise, Emma pulled me aside. "Martha, I didn't realize. You're incredible with them," she admitted, her voice soft. I smiled warmly. "Thanks, Emma. It's not about being incredible, it's about love, patience, and understanding. That's what the kids need." She nodded slowly, clearly processing everything. I could see the shift in her attitude. No more doubt, no more smirk, just genuine respect. I then sat with Liam and Sophie on the couch. We talked about the weekend, what we had learned, and how much fun we had. Liam said, "Grandma, you're the best. I never thought chores or games could be this fun." Sophie hugged me tightly. "Yeah, I'm going to miss this weekend when Mommy comes back." I realized in that moment that the kids didn't just trust me, they genuinely loved and respected me. That's the kind of victory that no words from Emma could ever measure. Later, Emma joined us. She hugged the kids and then looked at me with a smile. "Martha, I judged you wrong. You're not useless at all. Thank you for taking care of them and making this weekend amazing." I felt a deep sense of pride and satisfaction. All the patience, the calmness, and the effort had paid off. Emma's doubts were gone, the kids' trust was solid, and I had proven that love and patience are stronger than assumptions. Last time Emma fully acknowledged my role, the kids' trust was solid, and I had proven my worth, celebrating the restored respect, love, and joy that turned the entire weekend into a triumph. That evening, we all sat together in the living room, sharing snacks and laughing about the weekend adventures. Liam and Sophie were proudly retelling their favourite moments, from the pancake cooking to the superhero obstacle course. Emma smiled warmly. "Martha, I really underestimated you. You didn't just take care of the kids. You made the weekend unforgettable for all of us." I felt a deep sense of fulfillment. This wasn't just about proving Emma wrong, it was about building a bond, showing love and creating memories. The kids' joy and laughter were the real reward. Later, I reflected quietly. I realized that patience, creativity, and calm guidance could overcome doubts and assumptions. It wasn't about being perfect. It was about being present, listening, and nurturing trust. The kids hugged me again, saying, "Grandma, you're amazing." My heart swelled. Emma's doubts had vanished, replaced with appreciation and respect, and the kids' trust was complete. As we wrapped up the weekend, Emma said, "Thank you, Martha, for everything. I see now how much you really care." I smiled, hugging her and the kids. It's all about love and patience. That's how we stay connected. The weekend ended with laughter, hugs, and memories that would last a lifetime. I had not only survived being underestimated, but had strengthened the entire family bond.